was a pretty epic introduction, I guess, wasn't it? How are you doing today? How are you all doing? Welcome to the StanSolo show. Now, today we didn't have our morning coffee ramble show because I knew that today was Star Wars Day and that I would be doing some kind of Star Wars video today. I think possibly once a year, unless a trailer comes out. I think possibly once a year on May the 4th, I will dedicate this show to the best saga that has ever been made in the world of cinema, which is Star Wars. So, unless I think what I might do as well, if we get any trailers and stuff in the future, which I'm sure we will, we'll probably review those on the channel as well. We'll do like a breakdown of trailers for Star Wars films, things like that. But I hope you enjoyed the epic introduction music and that you're ready to join me for a little bit of chat today about Star Wars, the greatest set of movies, in my opinion, of all time. Maybe Home Alone. I don't know. Home Alone 1 and 2, they're a pretty good saga as well, aren't they? I think they did 4 and 5 as well. 3, 4, 5, I think, don't they? But I think Star Wars takes the biscuit. I don't think Home Alone's quite up there. But what we're going to do today is just have a chat then. I've got a few things planned today. I thought that we would watch, probably at the end of the video today, we'll watch the new video that was released by Star Wars today, which I'm hoping I'll be able to play. I'm pretty sure I will do. It's up on YouTube anyway, so I think it's just like a trailer kind of thing. So I should be able to play that. Anyway, we'll just go and watch that. It's just something they released on the 4th of May for May the 4th Be With You Day. It is just a video, like a compilation of all 9 movies and a bit of Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff like that. So it's quite cool. It's just come out on their YouTube page. So I thought, well, we'll probably show that. Also, I have what else are we going to do? I have, because I'm a bit of a Star Wars collector, you might have seen behind me, I've got figures and Funko Pops, that kind of stuff. Ooh, excuse me. So I thought that I'd show you my favourite 3, or my top 3 things that I have in my Star Wars collection. So I thought that might be quite interesting if you'd like to see that. I've got quite a few Funko Pops, a few figures, and stuff like that. So I thought, well, I'd just dig out the best 3, my favourite 3, and tell you why they are my favourite 3. Also, I have done, it's a bit of a controversial topic, but I have written down my favourite Star Wars movie in order, just for the saga. So we're not talking standalone like Rogue One or Solo or anything like that. We're just talking about the 9 Skywalker Saga movies. I have written my definitive list of number 9, which being I don't want to say worst, because I don't think any of them are bad movies or anything like that. So it's my personal list of my favourites from 9th to 1st, and what is my favourite Star Wars movie. So those are the kind of things that I'll be looking to do today. I'm not sure. Maybe a little bit of background I can give you beforehand on why I like Star Wars and why it is my favourite batch of movies. I could tell you that story, couldn't I, to get going. What I'm also going to do, if anybody does come in the chat, because we are live at the moment. If you're watching on replay, don't worry about it. But if you're watching live, so hopefully there'll be some people in the chat. You can leave your questions, ask me something about Star Wars, or ask me anything you like. Doesn't have to do with Star Wars either. We're just free today to have a little chat and get geeked up, basically. So, why do I like Star Wars? Well, I was probably, I guess, along with a lot of other people from my generation, I was born almost a Star Wars fan, because I was born in 1983, so I think I was born just before The Last Jedi came out. The Last Jedi. The Return of the Jedi, not Last Jedi. Return of the Jedi. Before the Return of the Jedi came out, I was born in the same year, 1983. But my brother is 10 years older than me. So he was born in 73, which means that he would have been 5, I guess. 5 when A New Hope came out. So my brother was the one really, my brother Matthew was the one who, I'd say got me into it, but he was only young, but he was the one who was collecting the original Kenner figures the first time round. So he had probably not a 4 or 5 when A New Hope came out, but he would have been getting a bit older, getting to that age of figures and stuff, more Empire Strikes Back, and definitely he would have been 10, right, when Return of the Jedi came out. So he was like bang into all that kind of stuff. So he was the one really. So when I was born in 83, my brother was already 10, and he already had like stacks and stacks of the original Kenner figures, which unfortunately I think I ended up burying in the back garden when I became 10 and my brother was off at university or whatever. So I think he's always held a grudge against me for that, I think, because there are a lot of older original figures that are sort of and we still own the house, so technically we could go and dig them up again, but I'm not sure what kind of state they'll be in. But he was the one really who had all those figures, and I then inherited those figures once he sort of got a bit older. So I was almost born into being a Star Wars fan, and I remember having tapes, like VHS tapes, that were actually recorded off of the television. So I think it used to be like Christmas time. I think they used to put the original trilogy on at Christmas, but sort of every 20 minutes there'd be an advert break, because it was on TV, right? So I remember there was an advert break. So we had like this long video, this video that was worn to the bone almost. These videos that are worn to the bone, from rewinding and fast forwarding through the adverts, that kind of stuff. So that was my first introduction to watching the movies. Because I was basically just born just before Return of the Jedi came out, so I didn't see them in the cinema the first time around, but my brother did, and he was like an uber fan. So that was how I got into Star Wars, and I've been a fan ever since, really. So I can't ever remember a time, because there wasn't ever a time in my lifetime when I was not watching Star Wars. I mean, I'd imagine my brother was probably watching Star Wars, just after I'd come home from the hospital. So I remember Star Wars throughout my whole life. There's never been a time in my life when Star Wars has not been a part of it. So obviously when The Phantom Menace came out in 99, I was 15, I guess. So it was the first time really that I'd seen a Star Wars in the cinema. And I was obviously, episode 1 came out and everyone was buzzing and it was going crazy. I did actually go to watch the special edition versions of the original trilogy in the cinema. So I did see the original trilogy in the cinema at some point, probably when I was about 13, it must have been, because they came out a couple of years, I think, before Phantom Menace. I'm not sure how many years before it was, but I definitely went to see those movies in the cinema. And then obviously the Phantom Menace came out, and I was all over it again, and I was buying figures and stuff like that. And so it was almost, for me, the prequels were a chance for me to see a Star Wars movie for the first time in the cinema. So I watched that one, and then Attack of the Clones, obviously, and then Revenge of the Sith. And then that was it really for a while. It was kind of, there was a big break there, and I was obviously at the point in my life then when I was at work, and I was working and living in different places and that kind of stuff. So then it was, I don't know, I mean, more than 10 years, right? Until The Force Awakens came out, and then it started all over again, and then I got back into it again. And now we have this wonderful world of YouTube where there are amazing communities and great people that I've met in the Star Wars community, which is sort of reinvented my love for Star Wars over and over again. and it keeps reinventing itself. And I think now that Disney's got it, there's obviously going to be a lot more content that I can look forward to. So we've got The Mandalorian, we've got all the standalone solo standalone movie and Rogue One and things. Then we've got the Kenobi series coming out and Cassian Andor and all that kind of stuff. So now it's like crazy amount of Star Wars. But most of my life, really, I only remember having sort of the original trilogy and then the prequels as well. So any Star Wars I can get now is amazing, and it's fantastic. So that is an introduction to my life in Star Wars, really. Nothing more to say on that matter. But if you've got any questions, anybody got any questions, you can pop them in the comments below, and also in the live chat if anyone's hanging around there. That was a bit of a rant, wasn't it? Sorry. So I just want to also say that this show, the StanSolo show, or the morning coffee rambles and everything I do are not Star Wars based. So it's more of a sort of everyday news show, and also I do a podcast where I talk to anybody really, anybody who's willing to talk to me. So this is just a one-off about Star Wars, but there'll be things popping up now and then, like when trailers are released, things like that. I'll probably do reactions to trailers, things like that. And obviously on May the 4th, the biggest day on the on the calendar, I will be celebrating Star Wars with you guys. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And what I'll do is I will move on to, shall we do my favourite figures first, or my favourite Star Wars toys? Or should we do the list? I think we'll do the figures, I think, first. So I've just picked out, as you know, well, you may not know, but I am a huge collector of Star Wars figures. Funko Pops sometimes, but mainly I'm trying to get all of the original Kenner figures, really. And then I've got a lot of Last Jedi figures and stuff like that, but my main aim is to get one in good condition. I mean, loose is okay. I'm not worried about getting them on card backs or anything like that, but excuse me, that's a bit of it's a fizzy one, that. And so I'm looking to get one of every figure, if possible, from the original trilogy. So that's the plan in the future, but it's going to take a while because some of them are a little bit pricey at the moment. So what I've done is I've just picked three. They're not actually all from the original trilogy, but I've picked three of my favourite figures, or my favourite things that I've got from Star Wars, and I'm going to show them to you now. So number 3, let me just check that this is okay, because I can't actually see myself. There we go. So I'll be able to see myself now. So number 3 on the list of my favourite toys is, hang on, is this one, is this little bad boy here, which is, let me see if you can see that. There we go. So there's a bit of glare on it. Sorry about the glare. So this one here is an Episode 1 figure of Darth Maul. But this one's actually been signed by the man himself, Ray Park. So I've put this one in a star case, actually, because it's hopefully a little bit more valuable. And then you've got the authenticity thing here. Actually, they actually sent this with me as well. You've got there's a certificate of authenticity with a number and a website you can go and check. You can go and check it out, stuff like that. So that's my third favourite. So that's a signed Darth Maul. I'm not sort of really liking the fact that he's drawn all over his face, but yeah. Anyway, so that's the Episode 1 Darth Maul. That's my third favourite, signed by the legend that is Mr. Ray Park. So that's number 3 on the list. Number two we'll go to now. Number 2 actually is in a white box. Now, this one here is an original mail away. So what you had to do basically back in the Kenner day, was collect stamps on the back of figures, on the back of the card backs and stuff like that. So you had to collect stamps and then mail away. So I didn't do that because I was too young, but I remember my brother doing it. You mail away then, and then they send you a new figure. and this was one of the ones you could get. And this one's actually got the original white box, and it's even got the original. Hang on a minute. It's got the original sort of manual that comes with it. I don't know why there's a manual with it, but this is the one here. So this is the Jedi Collections, and it just tells you inside about the different figures that are in the wave and stuff like that. I don't know if you can pick that up. Yeah, it just tells you about all the different figures and stuff that are in the wave, things like that. Anyway, the figure that I have, and I got there, is a mint condition, I must add. And it's still in the original Kenner bag that they got, so it hasn't actually ever been opened. It's got the cane in there, but it's Emperor Palpatine. It's the Emperor. So this is an original. Let me see if I can get that to focus a bit better. This is an original Kenner. In the bag, Emperor Palpatine, that I've had for a while now, and unfortunately, like this bag or this box, I don't want to throw the box away because it's like it's a bit of a relic, but but you can't see him now because he's in the box. But that's fine. I know what it is anyway, and I don't really show it off to many people anyway. So that's number 2. Now, number 1 is the toy I remember playing with most. Is the toy I remember playing with most when I was a kid, and I had my brother's. Now this one here is not my brother's, because that's back at my mum's house. But this one I did manage to get online, and it's still in the box. Although there's nothing else in it, there's no packaging or anything, and the box is pretty battered. Like it's very, very, but it just smells like nostalgia. Like the smell of the box is. I might have a smell in a minute. I'll try and describe what the smell is. But it is the Land Speeder. So Luke's Land Speeder from A New Hope. With the original box. This is the original box, but you can see it's all sort of taped up and knackered and stuff like that, right? But that is the original Land Speeder from A New Hope. And inside, so you can see, there's absolutely nothing in the box. There's no sort of packaging or anything like that. But I do have the original Land Speeder from A New Hope, which is pretty cool. And it's got like this thing doesn't really work that well, but there's a lever that sort of puts the wheels up and down. But it has got the stickers. So you got the sticker in the bonnet, which is still there. The sticker's in really good condition there. Yeah, sticker's in good condition. And this thing isn't great though. There's like a bump thing on the front, so you're going to crash it into things, and it's got a little knob on the front, and it flicks the bonnet open, so to simulate a crash. And there's a little lever inside which brings the wheels up, so there's no wheels underneath, and then you can put it down, but they're a bit ropey, a bit old. But this is, I believe this one is Kenner Products 1978. Yeah, 1978. So that's an original Land Speeder. And that is my favourite Star Wars toy that I own. And I'm actually going to keep it out of the box because I do display it and then just use the box as a backdrop. But that's the original box too, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. If you find it interesting, then let me know in the comments. If you don't, then never mind. Watch something else. I don't know. Okay, thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed that. What else did I say? Okay, so the next thing we were going to look at was my list. Okay, so I wrote out a list earlier. Hang on a second. I wrote out a list detailing my favourite or my top 9 Star Wars Saga movies. Only Star Wars Saga. So, but I wrote out my favourite movies from number 9 up until number 1. So number 9 being the worst or the one I don't like as much, because I do love all of the movies because it's Star Wars basically at the end of the day. But number 9 So the one I don't watch as much as the others, and I don't have that much love for, if I'm honest, is The Last Jedi. So it's a bit of a controversial one, The Last Jedi. The reason for me is that it's number 9 is that at the end of the day, something has to be number 9, doesn't it? One of the movies had to be number 9, and this one I just don't enjoy it as much as the others. That's the only reason, really. I mean, it's not like I don't like the movie or dislike the movie. I still probably watch it. I'll probably watch it like once every 2 or 3 months anyway, because I mean, at the end of the day, it is Star Wars, so I do watch it. I do watch it a lot. So I would say, yeah, probably once every 2 or 3 months I watch The Last Jedi anyway. So it's not that I don't like it. It's just it's not my favourite one. In at number 8, we have Attack of the Clones, the middle part to the prequel saga. Again, this one I only ever watch sort of now and then. It just doesn't have my favourite parts in. I tend to watch the other two. I tend to watch Phantom Menace and Revenge of the Sith a lot more than I watch Attack of the Clones. And that's just a personal preference. Just, I don't know. It's just one of those things, isn't it? It's just a personal preference. But obviously, I do still love the movies. And there are some great parts in it, really good parts in it. But that was at number 8. Now, moving on up to number 7, and I have The Phantom Menace at number 7. So The Phantom Menace is my number 7 on this list. Love the movie, absolutely love the movie. I would say 8 and 9 are the ones that I don't have as much love for. But from 7 up, I could watch them, every week if I needed to. So yeah, Phantom Menace is at number 7. Number 6, we have The Force Awakens, the first movie from the sequel trilogy. Really enjoyed it, Force Awakens. I thought it was a great movie. Very, very difficult to decide between that and The Phantom Menace. Really, both sort of opening movies for the new trilogy, for their respective new trilogies. But I thought they were both great. And I just edged Force Awakens on this one, just because I felt myself, I enjoy the characters. I love Darth Maul, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Darth Maul. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, absolutely love him. But I do feel like the story was stronger in The Force Awakens. You didn't have that sort of trade dispute stuff going on at the beginning, and it felt more like a Star Wars movie to me, really. So that was number 6, Force Awakens. Up until number 5 now, and we have the last of the prequel movies. It is Revenge of the Sith. So I think especially the last hour, I would say, especially the last hour of the Revenge of the Sith is amazing. A real just fun time, all round great experience. Especially seeing that in the cinema. I remember seeing Revenge of the Sith in the cinema for the first time and just being blown away, especially by the lightsaber battle with Anakin and Obi-Wan at the end. It's just fantastic, absolutely great movie. Loved it. But something had to come 5th. That's kind of how it is in these in these lists. Anyway, up until number 4. So right, number 4 now. Getting into the business end of this. Number 4 is The Rise of Skywalker, the finale to the sequel trilogy. I was shocked at how much I enjoyed this movie. I was going into it, when I remember going into the movie, and obviously I was very excited about going to see The Rise of Skywalker, the culmination of the Skywalker Saga. But in the back of my mind, I thought, I don't think it's going to live up to my expectations. I after The Last Jedi, I didn't enjoy so much, and I thought could be in the same vein as that. But left the cinema like super happy, like jacked, like just shaking on myself. I loved it, absolutely loved it. Rise of Skywalker, I thought it was a great movie. I thought it actually rounded off not all of the loose ends, but most of the loose ends that they had going on. Some of them I liked, some of them I didn't, like so much. But as a movie, I really, really enjoyed it. I didn't have any problems with the movie whatsoever. Loved it. Just generally thought it was a great movie, fantastic movie, and thoroughly enjoyed myself in the cinema, which basically is the point of movies, right? Is to enjoy yourself in the cinema. So if that's a guideline to go by, then I generally think that it was a great movie. So anyway, so that is 9-4. So now we have the top three. Now, as you've probably noticed by the fact that none of the original trilogy movies have been in numbers 9-4, in my humble and honest opinion, there is no way that I could take any of those original trilogy movies anywhere out of the top three. For me, they are it's a perfect trilogy. It's an absolutely wonderful experience from the beginning right to the end, and there's no way I could get them anywhere apart from the top three, in my opinion. So, and that's what it is. It is just opinion. But at number 3, some would say controversially, I've put The Empire Strikes Back at number 3. Now, it might well be the best movie, as in technically the best, or written, the way it's written and the way that, I don't know, critics would judge a movie. Maybe it's the best movie, like, film movie. You know what I mean, right? However, it is, for me, I think, something to do with the fact that when I was young and when I was first introduced into these movies, I'm pretty sure that my parents were more inclined to let me watch Return of the Jedi and A New Hope, because they weren't quite as dark and quite as I don't know, maybe they just had a nicer vibe to them, because obviously, Return of the Jedi, you got the Ewoks, and they're nice and cuddly and friendly and everything, and New Hope's a very, very sort of just nice family movie. I think The Empire Strikes Back is a little bit darker, and I just feel like there was something there where I wasn't able, when I was really young, because I wasn't choosing what movie was getting put on, I wasn't able to play The Empire Strikes Back maybe as much as I wanted to, and so I don't have as many memories attached to them, and that is what I'm going on for this top 3. It's the memories that I have that are tied to these movies and what I experienced and what I remember. So for me, just my opinion, like I said before, just an honest opinion from myself, The Empire Strikes Back is my number 3. Number 2 is Return of the Jedi. 2 of my favourite parts in the whole of the Skywalker Saga are in this movie. Number 1 being Jabba's palace. When I was younger, I remember recreating Jabba's palace. It was always Jabba's palace. I was always Luke in Jabba's palace. And I remember watching this movie again and again and again when I was a kid, and always thinking, man, I'd love to be killing a Rancor. So Return of the Jedi has been my number 2. The other amazing part of this was, I think, probably one of the coolest moments in a Star Wars movie. Because obviously Han Solo is known for his cool moments throughout the saga, but for me, the moment that Luke steps onto the skiff, Jabba's skiff, is it Jabba's skiff? Or one of the smaller ones, and is going to get thrown into the Sarlacc pit, and he sort of gives that nod to R2-D2, who's about to fire the lightsaber in the air. I mean, that for me, that is Luke's coolest moment in the entire Skywalker saga. So, and then he sort of hangs on to the what do they call it? The plank, basically, like walking the plank, and hangs onto it, and then does the front flip, and then lands on his feet, catches the lightsaber, bang, bang, bang. Oh, awesome! That for me is one of the coolest moments in the entire Star Wars saga. So Return of the Jedi, number 2, which leaves only one movie left at number 1. And top of my list is A New Hope, the first Star Wars movie when it was just called Star Wars. The Adventures of Luke Skywalker. For me personally, I have just a connection with this movie. Like, I can imagine myself as Luke on Tatooine and wanting to do something, and it just is such a it just resonates with me 100%. And for me, the story from the beginning of A New Hope right the way through, and his journey through the whole movie, could, if there was only ever one Star Wars movie, that would still be for me one of the most perfect movies ever made. The storyline is fantastic, the characters are all great, the introduction of the music from John Williams. My favorite ever scene in a Star Wars movie is the scene where Luke comes out of the Lars homestead and looks out to the twin suns, and then the music, the binary sunset music. I think is it the Force theme, or is it? Anyway, I think it's Binary Sunset, I think, is the name of the track. Anyway, but that is my favourite scene in the entire Star Wars saga, when he comes out and he's looking out, and it's almost like the feeling you get, the look on his face, and the music as well, just is such an emotional scene for me. I just love it, absolutely love it. And the story from start to finish is fantastic. Meeting Han Solo in the cantina. I mean, I love the cantina scenes. I love the X-wing battle. At the end. I was going to say spoiler alert, but if you haven't seen Star Wars, and I've been talking for like 40 minutes already, so I don't think a spoiler alert is necessary. But at the moment, Luke, chucks away his headset and just goes, and Obi-Wan's voice comes, and he nails it and flies off, and then it's just perfect, absolutely perfect. And as a movie on its own, I also think that because it was actually made at the time just to be one movie, it's got a beginning, it's got a middle, it's got an end, and it's my favorite movie that's ever been made. And that is my list from number 9 to number 1. So I hope I didn't bore you too much with all that information. But it's Star Wars Day, so everybody needs to have a bit of Star Wars in their life today. And I shall definitely be having some in mine. So that is pretty much it that I've got to talk about, really. I mean, the only other thing we've got to do is just... I've got this video here. It's about a minute long, I think. It's a video that was released on the Star Wars YouTube channel today. And I've seen it once already. It's just a compilation of different scenes from different movies and stuff. And I just thought it was worth a watch just to round off the Star Wars... What do we call this? A Star Wars hour, I guess, or the Star Wars... I don't know what we call this. It's just Happy Star Wars Day. That's what we're going to call it. So I'm going to switch across to YouTube, and hopefully you're going to be able to see this, and we'll watch it together, and then we'll go and do some other Star Wars things. Don't forget that tonight, if you're interested more in Star Wars, later on today, the Rebel Scum podcast will be broadcasting like they do every weekday, or most weekdays, during lockdown. So if you look at or look up Rebel Scum, start that again. Not Rebel Spum, Rebel Scum podcast on YouTube. Go and subscribe to those guys because they're great and they do fantastic YouTube content. And I will be watching them tonight. They do it every day. I'm going to do it. My Star Wars content will be probably once a year, but theirs is almost every day, and it's great. So go and check those guys out. Okay, let's have a look at this video. Thank you. There we go.
There's so many. Has anyone been to them all?
Not likely.
I want to be the first one to see them all.
Truly wonderful the mind of a child is.
Come on.
When you find people who need your help, you help them. No matter what.
We have hope.
Oh,
Hope that
love
things can get better.
that's the scene.
And they will.
That one. Brilliant.
Stand up together. Because that's when we're strongest. As one.
You won't be going alone. You'll have a friend with you.
No. I'll have a Jedi with me.
You might wanna buckle up, baby.
Rise
in the Force.
Take care of this little one.
It'll take care of you. We had each other. That's how we won.
The Force is strong in my family.
Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
What is it they've sent us?
Hope.
Perfect. Well done. Well done, Star Wars. Oh, amazing. Gives me goosebumps. Amazing. I think especially with the music, I think John Williams' music is just unbelievable. And I don't think we're going to get many more from him. I don't think we're going to get any more from him, in fact, which is going to be a real shame. But yeah, thanks for watching anyway, guys, today. So this has been my, we're going to call it the Star Wars Ramble. Just wanted to say happy Star Wars Day to everybody who's watching or everybody who's celebrating Star Wars Day out there today. And may the Force be with you. And I hope you have a fantastic evening. And I will see you back tomorrow morning. Or what day is it tomorrow? Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday morning for the Morning Coffee Ramble, where we will talk more about news. Tomorrow I have a great story about a woman who tried to throw a World War II bomb across a garden. So, yeah, slightly different from Star Wars content. But we'll be back to normal tomorrow with our kind of news stories and bit of morning chat. So look out for that if you like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. Give the video a like, that kind of stuff. It helps the channel out. I don't know, you know what to do now. It's 2020. YouTube is... most people know what to do, so I won't bore you with that kind of stuff. Well, thanks a lot for watching, guys. It's been amazing. And I shall see you again sometime in the future. Bye-bye.